Day has been just not working.
Oh, mine's just working slow.
If y'all can hear us, hello. Our intro is slow, so we're not even gonna play it tonight. You check Facebook.
I'm looking for you. Where are you on? You on Upper Myers?
On me. I'm on Better for Today. I'm on everything.
I don't show you live on there.
On what?
Better for Today.
Should be on there.
Mm-mm.
How about now?
Mm-mm.
That's it right there.
That's an old one, February 6th.
Well, we're still on. You ain't say it had to be today. Say what's we on.
I don't see you on you. Oh, okay, it says live.
Still on.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on, people? Holler at us if you're coming in the building. Let us know you in the building.
Okay. I'll put my sound down.
That's Calms. I'm Al. Said it right today.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome.
Carmen got bushy hair.
I don't know what Calm's doing over there, but
It's me.
it's all good.
It is. It's me.
I didn't want to come on today. She wanted to come on.
We have to work on being consistent.
Okay, what's the subject?
You had a subject. It's
So
your show.
how you talking about be consistent? You can't remember what the subject I gave you.
I'll flow.
Whatever. So we were watching our daughter who did her first Bible study today.
Yeah.
She did very, very well. She was very well prepared. And that's pretty much the key to anything. You want to be successful, just be prepared.
Yeah.
And let God do what he do.
Yeah. Get out of our own way.
It was a very good subject. She came out of... I got notes.
I was driving.
What did I do with it?
She spoke of the fruits of the Spirit.
But what scripture did she come out of?
I can't remember. I was driving.
Hold on. Let me get it. Where the heck did it go? Matthew 7:16 through 20. And her topic was, what fruit are you producing? It was a nice group. Nice group there. I thought it was great for her first time. So very good, Tyler. Very good job, man. I was very, very proud of you. You didn't stutter. You didn't hesitate. Looked like you was a veteran.
She flowed. Yeah.
A veteran, man. She really, really talked about herself, which is pretty much when you're able to do that, you really don't need much preparation.
Right.
And you can flow. So tonight, I can't remember what spurned. Is that a word? Yeah, I think it is. Mm-hmm. What had us talk about the subject, but I think for the topic, let me say it right. Are you parenting the way you've been parented?
Ooh.
And how effective
are
you with that method? Mm-hmm. Because if we're not careful, we do what we say we're not going to do. Because it's almost like it's inside of you.
Right.
You know, you just do what's inside of you. And so I remember a long time ago, I think it was, I can't remember the pastor, but he was talking to this young man. This young man had a problem with the way his wife was parenting the son.
Okay.
And so the pastor asked the wife, can you love your husband as much as you love your son? And so it was a little off question because to me, I was like, that's impossible. There's no way she can love anybody that wasn't inside of her the way she loves the person that was inside of her. There's no way. That person that was inside of that woman gets unconditional love.
It's a different type of love.
You can't compare the two.
You cannot.
You can't compare the two. And so it intruded or interfered with the way he wanted to parent. A lot of times he would say stuff and she would go, no, don't do that in front of the kid. And they ended up divorcing from I don't know if that was it. Maybe that was just some of it.
That was one of the excuses.
But one of the things that I think couples, as a couple, you gotta discuss that. That should be something that should be discussed. Mm-hmm. How do we discipline our kids?
Right.
With us growing up, it was damn near murder. I don't know about your household, but my household, I mean, whatever my mom could grab was pretty much how we got disciplined. And it trickled over into how I disciplined my son until one day I remember I was beating him and the belt got loose and it kind of bust his head. And I was like, that was the last time I put my hands on him. The last time I put my hands on him because it scared me like, dude, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. But I thought that was a way to enforce what I wanted to be done. Mm-hmm. And there's different ways that you can do that. Some people still beat their kids. Right. I'm not here to tell you that's wrong. No. Because that's not my child. Right. But you can't do it in anger. No. Don't be angry doing it because there's going to be some things that come out of you that has nothing to do with that child. Or the actual situation. It's got nothing to do with the situation either. Based on the frustration of your day. And they're an easy target because they're there. They're in close proximity to you. So they're going to get it. So if you're here, man, let us know you're in the building. I'm answering texts. You can talk on. What am I saying? Oh. Okay. My form of parenting is I would fuss at them and put them on punishment and then go in the room maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then go in and explain to them why I was mad at them, what they did, what I did, how I may have overreacted, and then come on and let me feed you. That was me. I don't know why I'm not seeing, oh, your mom must have just came on. Mm-hmm. I just seen your comment, Mima. Hey, Memes. So, yeah, are we parenting like we were parented? And how effective is that? Hey, Pastor Danielle, I was looking for you. Thanks for the new number. I don't know what I would have done had I not had your number. Man, we would have ended up in South Carolina. We would have had to make a road trip. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I don't remember what caused me to think about this subject. I think it was talking to a member of the SNV cast. Yeah. How she was saying, there's such a disconnect between her and her son. I just remember when, hold on a second. Got to get this off. My wife was very, very instrumental in raising my kids because I was addicted to everything that wasn't legal, and I was just out there. And it came to a point. I got clean, I started going to church, whatever. That my son wanted to talk to me more than he wanted to talk to you. But I think that that's normal. what I'm trying to say is how instrumental it is to have that positive male.
Right. You're talking about when he became older.
When he got old. Yeah, when I was younger, anybody want to have nothing to do with me. But when he got older,
they reverenced
and
you,
I'm saying that to say that him witnessing my transformation was a form of discipline.
Yes. Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, wait a second. If dad can do that, X, Y, Z. So saying all that to say that your model is more influential than anything you do to these kids. So I was reading something today and it said, how do you expect somebody to love you that you beat? It's not an animal. It's a human. So when you physically put your hands on another human, instinctively, they begin to dislike you.
Okay.
How do I love something that keeps hitting me?
Oh.
How am I supposed to express gratitude? And I know that as soon as I do something wrong, you're going to hit me.
Well, then the love kind of shifts. It's more of a, if I behave in a certain manner.
It's a protected type of a love.
Right. Then I'm not going to get that reaction.
So when that child gets a certain age that they feel that they're a little bit, I got a little bit girth, or the possibility that I'm trying you is high. Because they like, I ain't forget you put your hands on me. And we as parents don't ever think about that. But I can't wait for him to try me. And you might got 10 seconds of wind.
10.
Yeah, and now you want to kill him for doing to you what you did to him. And I don't think we think that far. We don't think that far in advance to go, maybe I need to find another way of discipline, because sometimes when we beat our kids, we don't ever explain to them what are we doing this for?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? You're mad, and this is how I'm going to punish you. But what am I punishing you for? And what is this punishment supposed to achieve?
Right. Yeah.
I'm beating you.
Other than isolation.
The punishment is for you when you beat that kid. It's not for the kid.
It's more of you being frustrated.
It's you get your frustration out, your bitterness, or whatever's inside of you, you're getting out over how that kid made you feel. Once it goes back to your emotions, opposed to sitting down, talking to that child, and explaining to them, "Hey, man, that was wrong." You know what I'm saying? And possibly giving them another form of behavior.
Correct.
But if you don't have it, how can you give it? So what you're going to do is do what's inside of you. And that's that type of a discipline.
My mom never beat me.
She said she used to hypnotize you after she beat you.
No.
So that you wouldn't remember.
Used to give me the death look.
I had some
My mother could make her eyes into slits. But you knew that she was staring at you.
Remember said she used to chop you in the throat.
No, she ain't never.
That's what I heard.
I think one time she hit me across my face.
You just said she hit you.
That was the only time she hit me.
I don't love you any less, Mima. But what up, Steph? Auntie Steph is on.
And I think her hand impression was on my face. And I can remember her telling me the story because I don't remember the incident.
I told you she used to hypnotize you so you would remember it.
But she said that she told my father I fell in the snow.
And then she lied.
And that's how my cheek
Then she lied.
Red. Now, my father would beat me with a belt. But the last time he hit me with a belt, the belt hit me across my face.
He used to beat you on your behind?
He would, my legs.
Oh, because I was wondering, because one of your butt cheeks is bigger than the other one. Is it from being beat?
Where did that come? You're tired.
You wanted to come on. You wanted to come on.
So he swung the belt and it hit me on my face. That was the last time he ever beat. So I was always afraid of him. So he didn't have to beat me. All he had to do was raise his voice.
So what do you think are some better ways of discipline than actually having to put your hands on your child?
I liked how I may have fussed at them and told them to go to their room, no TV, then go back to them and then talking to them.
So if you have put your hands on your child previously, can you actually develop another means of discipline without them reflecting on that? So let me give you my experience. So she said, that's true. I hit her one time and I thought I was going to die. I never hit her again. It's not what I heard, Mima, but it's all good. Not what I heard. So my mom, after I gave my life to Christ and everything and talked to her to find out what she had gone through as a child, it brought clarity to a lot of stuff. But I think I told you the story. I told you the story. You was there. She had got sick. And I was on the phone with my dad. And I was like, my mom is sick. And he said, give me the address. So he sent her a get well card.
Yeah.
Get well card. She called me and chewed me out for him sending her a get well card.
Right.
And as I was on the phone trying to figure this out, Holy Spirit says to me, she's never been mad at you. And I was like, what? Yeah, she's never been mad at you. Everything that she's done to you was because of him.
Right.
And when I was younger, I was doing everything in my power to get my mom to please my mom.
Of course.
And there was nothing I could do that could please her. And I'm talking about I was in my 40s or 50s. I can't remember. And what? You're old. You right behind me, son. At least I got a hat on. Anyway.
Listen.
So, yeah, Sims, we're going to get to that, Sims. So, when he said that to me, it brought a lot of clarity into what I went through as a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because for the life of me, I couldn't figure out. I would go out and do what I did and come back. She never complained about the money.
No.
It was the only time in our house that there was peace. When there was some money. You know what I mean? But I can't fault her because I had an out. At the particular time, I faulted her because I was comparing her to everybody else's mom.
Right.
And she used to beat fire out of me, like whatever she could grab. You know what I'm saying? And it got to the point where I just stopped crying, stopped moving. Just stare at her. And I guess that made her matter.
Yeah, I could see that being frustrating.
Didn't matter.
Right.
And then she just figured, I can't do nothing with this boy no more. You know what I'm saying? And like Sim said, I couldn't figure out why the beatings were so intense until I talked to her later on in life.
Right.
And she started explaining to me the things that she had gone through as a child.
Right.
And I said, man, here I am judging this lady, and she never had nobody to talk to.
And she was giving you all that she knew.
She replicated what happened to her.
Yeah.
So that's what it is, Sims. Our parents do what was done to them. There's no reasoning for it. They just think that that's a sufficient way to discipline. And I've heard people say, we turned out good. It wasn't from the behind whippings.
No. How much fear are you operating in? You understand? We instill fear. We are the product of the root of instilling fear in our kids. And it's now in my triple 20s that I see how
four. She's 80.
I see that the yelling, you understand, grabbing them in a certain manner. You're instilling fear in these kids. So now you got them intimidated, and so now if they get something similar out there, they're going to be their reaction.
For me, it worked in reverse. I went outside and took it out on people.
It could do that.
I went outside and I became another guy.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got, went to Living Waters and went to counseling, it was brought up why I was so violent.
Mm.
It was my way of taking out. I wanted to take it out on my mom's, but I couldn't, so I took it out on other people.
And it's something how you still reverenced her because she was your mom.
She's mom.
Yeah.
And I reverenced her because of who she was to me before she became a Jehovah's Witness.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? It was almost like that transition in her, it changed something. You know what I'm saying? Because we was family.
Correct.
And when she, she started, she just shut the family off.
Because I'm going to say it's almost as though she viewed her family as doing so negative and that she wanted.
That's not it.
Oh, okay.
She had this demonized thing going.
Well, I mean,
anything outside of what she was doing was demonized.
Or outside of what they portrayed that she's supposed to do.
What she was doing. Not what they portrayed. What she was doing.
Oh, her.
Yes. It wasn't no portrayal. This is what she thought. Now, the craziest thing about it is a lot of the other Jehovah's Witnesses didn't act that way. But they didn't live the life my mom's had lived. So she maybe wanted to wipe her hands of everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
like if I don't see them, I don't interject with them. They don't exist.
Your mom said, my mother beat me and Julia so much for just about anything. So I vowed never to beat my children. Remember, you just said you hit Tyler. You hit Carmen a few times. Get it together, memes. So yeah, I can't, a lot of people push the scripture, spare the rod, spoil the child. They ain't talking about no stick. But
or the Hot Wheel track.
One of the things I've learned since being a granddad is I watch Tyler. How Tyler talks to her boys. How her boys know how to articulate their feelings. Mm-hmm. How she allows them to, their feelings are valid.
Yes.
Not, you're a kid. You don't know.
Right.
These are the things I heard as a child. You're a kid. Stay in the kid's place. You
get out of adult conversation.
What age bracket should I be to make my feelings valid?
Wow. Yeah. So then you're telling them as kids that they don't have a place. That Absolutely. They can speak their mind.
Absolutely.
Not be disrespectful, but to express how they feel.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you fast forward to where we are now. Mm-hmm. And you go through the 80s, you go through the 90s, and you go through this drug epidemic that hit the hood. And the roles reversed. So where now the kids is running the household because mom and dad is all smoked out. Right. So they fending for their food. They're fending for this. They're fending for that. Mm-hmm. And so the levels of respect got diminished.
Yeah.
Because, the young people wasn't out there getting high. It was our generation.
It was.
The young people was getting the bread.
They was, yeah.
And so you got so-and-so mother over here doing this. So-and-so mother, hey, you got a couple of dollars? We gave them nothing to respect. Now you in the year 2025, where these guns is crazy. This is how they're handling their differences. Mm-hmm. Now you back in the household, and you got this young man who's been very aggressive out on the streets. And he comes home, and you tell him to do stuff. They don't know how to turn that off.
No. Not nowadays.
How do you hey Ronnie, how do you grab a hold of that young man? What can you do to manage this young man's feelings? Because all it is crumbled up, not crumbled, but I could say, what's the word I'm looking for?
You're saying that him as a young man, his view of his parent,
his emotions,
right,
is all jumbled up. That's what it's all jumbled up.
Because that's my mother, but my mother was a crackhead.
Even if my mother wasn't a crackhead, I've seen some of the stuff she's allowed.
Oh, yeah.
But you're telling me I can't do it.
Right. Yeah.
You're telling me not to do this and not. Mom, I see you. Dad, I see you.
Yeah, so it's like talking out of both sides of your mouth. Yeah.
They're looking at the model. They're not looking at the words.
Yeah, I've always said, yeah, kids do what they see, not what you say.
So now you got a problem in the house, and guess what? At 18, you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
To me, that's a generational curse.
Yeah, it is. And
but
that's where
if he's bringing chaos in your house, how do you handle it? What do you do? What do you do? It's a very fine line right there, because number one, it's not us, and number two, and I say this to a lot of people: be careful of the advice that comes out your mouth, because it wasn't given to you first to give to somebody else.
It was for you.
It wasn't given to you so you could go and be Ann Landis. God don't work like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was for you.
So I think one of the best ways for me, this is just biology here. Hold on. Mima says, one time she hid from me and I panicked because I didn't know where she was. When I found her, she had her little hands over her mouth and laughing. I lashed out instinctively with a slap. That second time, as soon as it was released, I felt guilty. The more we on the show, Mima, you're going to let more and more out.
She said the one time. And I don't think that was me. I think that was my brother. My brother was infamous for hiding.
I counted two. So, like I was saying with Tyler, how she sits and talks to her kids, is that possible after you've displayed another type of discipline on that kid?
I think real conversations, even our kids as an adult, I call them both. I think I text them.
You're not listening to me.
I heard you.
After you beat this kid, which is something that you didn't do, can you go back now?
I would want to believe yes.
You have to have a certain, your behavior has to change.
Definitely. It has to be visible.
Man, you got to have a whole different ball game.
A real heart to heart, and let that kid know how wrong you were in those instances. Admit you're wrong.
Because I feel, my mom's kicked me out. I think I was 14 or 15. We can't keep sending our kids out in the streets
with no ammunition,
with no skills, no life skills.
None.
Or 18, you got to get out. What have you done from, 14 to 18 that you can feel confident that you can send him out or her out in the streets? Or do you even care?
Yeah, that they have adulting skills. Do they know how to pay bills on time? Do they know how to, maintain a household? Go grocery shopping.
Simple thing. Wash clothes.
Wash clothes.
Wash clothes. Clean up
the house. Yeah.
And then, we send these kids out there unarmed. They're going to fall into something that's accepting them.
That's accepting them. Yeah.
For who they are.
Yeah. Right where they are.
And sometimes it may require for them to do something crazy to be accepted.
Yeah. Yeah. See, she said it's the same slide.
You see what I said?
What?
I counted two. Okay, what Stephanie said. Auntie Stephanie is our in-house therapist. She says, yes, the level of trust and safety will be built, but as a parent, we have to be accountable and intentional. Absolutely. Absolutely. And for me, it was giving my life to Christ. There had to be something bigger than humanity for me. And that was it. And I was just blessed for my son to see that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because it changed his life.
Yes.
God knows where he was heading, because I was a piece of work.
Yeah.
Mima said, I agree. Admit you were wrong in hitting them and apologize for it. Tell them you desire their forgiveness. But there's got to be a change in you.
Right. It can't be those mere words. They have to see that you're physically made a change in your life, that you're doing better, and you want to improve the relationship between one another.
What's up, Petey? Ronnie says that's real because like every other month I had to get out. However, I learned how to pay bills because they used to take my whole check from my summer youth jobs. That was my mom's. I cleaned because I was the cleaning lady. And for me, it went from my mom being abused to me getting abused. So all of that went in that one house throughout. I'm glad for God being in my life because he said when my father and my mother likely, he'll take me up. He knew parents was going to be jacked up. That was my change. That was my change, Ronnie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Number one, I don't know where I'd be without comms. And number two, once I got introduced to God and realized that I could forgive myself because I've done some things, man, that I tell my wife sometimes to this day, man, I'm just simply remorseful. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm just thankful that he allowed me time to get it together. And that's the key right there more than anything. Your model.
Yeah.
Not your words. Your model.
What you're exhibiting, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know what you meant, Ronnie. We have to be more of a model. Our motto on Sunday Night Vibes is let your behavior be your apology.
Yeah.
Because anybody can talk.
Oh.
And one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is if anybody is watching you, your kids is watching you.
Oh, everything.
Everything you do.
Mm-hmm.
How you going to tell them not to do something you do? And then punish them for doing it. So it's really difficult. Number one, to raise kids. It's very, very hard. Number two, especially for the single parents, man, I don't really have any advice for single parents, man, because the influences for these kids out here nowadays it's amazing.
I can imagine the struggle, especially when it comes to screen time. Because in the beginning, it's what kept them quiet, and you needed to cook, you needed to clean.
So now they hooked on that
to
thing.
prepare, and now they're addicted to it, and now you want to put rules because you see. So I can see that being a struggle, but in the end, it's going to be for the betterment of them. It's like being addicted to alcohol or any drug. You're going to have to go cold turkey. Ain't no meth program here.
And two parents in the household doesn't necessarily equate to better parenting.
Better work. Yeah, I'm going to say I know someone who was raised by one woman, and he turned out to be such a great young man.
God bless him.
Compassionate, great young man. Yes.
Have you talked to him? Like, do you really know what's going on with him? Because he could be great, successful, but he could have some emotional baggage.
Oh, and no doubt that he didn't have a father.
And sometimes the father is not the answer.
But right. But I'm gonna say he had healthy people his mom put in his life. As far as Bam. I'm talking actually Darius. Well-rounded young man.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sonia did an awesome job protecting him from certain people, and I mean, there's things that I don't know because I didn't live with them.
Right.
But working with him close and then working with her, I saw how the relationship was, and not just at work, but outside of work. And how he turned out as a grown man.
He's a good dude.
He's a great dude. Yeah.
He's a good dude. And that can happen.
Yeah, it can happen.
You don't just because it's a single parent, it doesn't necessarily banish you.
Right, definitely.
To
definitely.
Something. But in counseling, we had people who had both parents, but you have what you call an absentee parent in the house.
Yeah.
I'm here, but I ain't engaged.
Right.
I pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
I make sure we got a place to live.
Mm-hmm.
That's the extent of my manhood.
Yeah. I used to say that. I'm married, but I'm a single parent.
Who?
I used to say that.
You wanted to get married.
Alfred. Yeah, I wanted to get married because I knew
Don't
what
get mad
it
at
meant.
me.
Because I wasn't mad.
Because I was out.
You were a piece of work.
I was out there, son.
I used to say that, and then it was like I had to stop saying that.
Saying what?
I had to stop saying I'm a married single parent.
I heard you say that the other day. And we ain't even got no kids.
We have children. They just so happen to be adults. But what I'm saying is I had to stop myself from, it was almost like a declaration, but it was something that I had to do. I had to pick up the pieces to make our lives normal. What's that look for? What's this and that?
I'm glad you picked up the pieces.
Yeah, we picked up the pieces.
I didn't pick up no pieces. It took me a minute to learn what the pieces was. So my wife wanted to come on. I'm here.
He's here.
That's what abuse does. It makes you do what you don't want to do.
Abuse? Who's abuse?
You threatened me.
I threatened you.
Yeah. Will we tell them what you said? This is a clean show.
What?
Okay, yeah. You see, she's stuttering.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So I don't really have any advice. I think that one of the best parenting skills that you could acquire is to not do what was done to you.
Yeah.
Because you didn't like it.
Right.
I didn't like it at all.
There were some great things that occurred in my life growing up. But then there's some things that's like, I'm not repeating that.
I mean,
you said you can't recall a lot of your childhood.
My mom's did the best she could with what she had.
Definitely.
And that's it. And it took me to get 50-something years old to appreciate that. We was never homeless. We didn't have the best food, but we ate. Right. We didn't have the best clothes, but we had clothes.
Yeah.
So, it's our gauges that cause us to not honor who we should be honoring.
Right.
The Bible tells us honor your mother and father. It doesn't say saved. It doesn't say non-alcoholic. It doesn't say non-crackhead.
Right. It says your mother.
It says your mother and your father.
Right.
That you'll have long life. So I think I did a good job. That's why I'm still here. Because although I didn't like a lot of stuff she did, I honored her.
You did.
Even to the point when we moved, I was still sending her money.
Yeah.
I was still sending until I just said, all right, my household has to come first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm going to say even after that, you still honored her because you were mad. And you wouldn't.
I never say anything disrespectful to my mother.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You.
Ronnie said, I always said when I was growing up, I didn't want to be like nothing I see. Ronnie said, when I was growing up, I didn't want to be like nothing I see. I didn't want to be like either one of my parents, and I never was. And that's the reverse side of it.
Yeah.
People say my parents didn't influence me. Yes, they did. You either vowed to be like them or vowed to not be like them.
Right.
So they had an influence on you.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think a lot of us should have went through what we went through. Some people have this expression that says, well, look how you turned out. Well, damn, did I have to go through that? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We say the craziest stuff, Colin.
Yeah, like, could I have just, yeah.
I remember my mother used to lock us out the house. They didn't know how to love, so they didn't teach love. That's true. My mother used to lock us out the house. I can't remember why. I think maybe we was like a minute late from being in the house.
Oh, so she made a stand.
She would lock the door, right? And so we knew everybody. She used to go around to people's houses and tell them not to let us in their house.
That's evil.
I used to sit and go, if we ain't in your house,
Yeah.
What does it matter?
How you gonna control somebody else's house?
And people, because of the level of respect that they had back then, wouldn't let us in their house.
Wow.
And I mean, it turned me into a bitter kid.
So how she thought a night in the street,
this was her discipline,
was going to teach you to come in on time.
This was her discipline.
Turns you to, oh, so this is where you want me,
this
and
is
this is where I'll be.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But when I talked to her, my grandma used to do that to her.
Mm.
So we parent like we were parented.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think that some of the things we do are not like our parents, and it's crazy how much it is like them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you can only do what's inside of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as I said today on Tyler's and them, what's the name? We got to journal more, man. We got to start writing down the things that really piss us off.
Yeah.
You know, and come up with a strategy on how to avoid being pissed off when that same event happens. Because it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
What I've learned a lot of times is it's really not the event, it's who did it. Because the next person can do the same exact thing and you won't be as mad.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. I've seen some people get really ticked off over what was said over here, and something similar happens. They don't say nothing. So it wasn't what was said. It was who said it.
Mm. So your muscle memory brought you to a place where a situation occurred. You're stating from that person.
Something happened previously.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying all this to say in raising our kids, we don't understand that their behavior when they get older is the development of what we did to them when they were young.
Yeah.
They can't put the two together.
Not now, right?
You can't put the two together. Right. It takes somebody who's professionally trained.
Yeah.
Not anointed.
I mean, the anointing is good, but in its place. But yes, you need to talk to a professional.
I prefer somebody that's been in school 8 years.
8, just 8?
With 13 certificates on their wall. All right, yeah, we could.
They read the book.
We can mess with you. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying the anointing is a bad thing. The anointing
is a great thing, but in some places, you can't pray away.
You need a combination.
You need to get some strategies
you need some
in
skills,
there.
Man.
Yeah, to pull out what you have been suppressing and pushing down for so many years that you don't even recognize it.
So my cousin does a great thing. So my cousin Lynette, she offered Mikey, but Mikey wanted to do his own thing. She told her niece, you can stay as long as you want to, but you got to save your money.
Mm-hmm.
You got to show me that you're working towards something.
That's right.
And she's teaching her different ways to invest her money.
That's right.
This is a great thing because when she releases her out into the streets,
when Lanice is prepared,
she's not being sent in the streets with nothing.
No, that's right.
This is what we're doing to our kids.
Yeah.
We're putting them out in the streets with nothing and expecting them to survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just not a good strategy.
Not at all. Not at all.
But what do you have to put up with if they stay in the house? If this kid is not listening, if this kid is not doing what you ask him to do, what do you do? How do you handle that?
Well, I mean, you're going to have to find the time to have a civil conversation. What are we doing? You understand? Is this about... And then we have to look at what role has this child placed himself in, or you placed them in.
Okay, let's get past that. Let's get to the point where we've established that this kid is just not listening. This kid is just not listening.
Okay.
And this kid, why is Stephanie texting me? She's on the daggone show.
Oh, no.
She's special.
I'm saying the kid is not wilding out just for...
She's super special, man. I ain't. Go ahead. I'll show it to you later. The kid's not wilding out.
just because we don't know the role that they took on or was given to them.
We understand that, but we're here now. We're here where this kid is not listening, and now this kid is 16, 17 years old, and we're threatening him with throwing him out. Is that sometimes done to think that the kid going to straighten up? And if it's not done in that aspect, do we put that kid out? Because it's like we can't do nothing with him.
Well, I can't live. You can't live as a prisoner. You can't be a prisoner. Talking about now? Meaning about the parent. Can't be a prisoner in their own home. So having that heart, I still say having a heart to heart.
What happens if that doesn't accomplish nothing?
Then if all we exhausted everything, counseling, talking, praying about it, we've exhausted everything. You still want to do what you want to do, then you're going to have to go your path. It's your path. If you're 18, 19, and you want to come here and be a man in your parents' home, you got to either follow the rules or you're going to have to.
Where is it written that at 18 years old you can put your kid out?
I'm not saying
I'm
that.
asking.
I don't
because that seems to be a law somewhere.
No, it isn't.
At 18, you get out of here.
Thing, but
you get out of here at 18.
I think every person here has heard.
You heard that?
In my household?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Your mom told you that she was going to kick you out?
No, my mother did not.
Oh, like, damn, me, I got to look at you different.
My mother would keep me in her house right now.
Well, why you ain't there? Why you ain't over there? She's coming, Mima. Baby Cakes is coming home. No, I'm just trying to make sense out of, because, the reality of it is single parent homes is predominantly women.
It is.
Predominantly women. Don't. I'm not saying that there's not men out there who's not raising their kids, but the majority. But the statistics say
there you go.
That is predominantly women.
Yes.
Right. It's extremely hard for women to raise boys, especially when they got to take care of that household.
At a certain age, young men, and
there's some boys who turn out great.
Yeah.
But the influences that we have now are far more than when we were kids.
Exactly. They're exposed to a lot.
It's just the internet is just bananas.
Yeah.
How do you control it? How do you? I told somebody the other day. I said, man, I don't know how you do it without Christ in your life. I just don't know how you do it.
Now that you know, it's
how do you do it?
Yeah.
Because situations like that, you got to turn them over to Christ.
And
that boy sleep, you got to put, or you got to do what? Okay, your brother came alive. He said, so usually what I said, especially to a young man at the age of 18, just graduated out of high school, they are told, work, go to school, or go in the military. That's another thing.
He was told.
So usually what it... Oh, that's what he was told? Really?
Yeah.
By your dad?
Oh, yeah. My father said, you either going to school, you going into the military. You're not going to lay around in here.
So he went to the military?
My brother went into the military. Me, I attempted to go to school. That wasn't what I really wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So it was a knee-jerk reaction. I went to please him, to shut him up.
What does that mean, knee-jerk reaction?
It was just like an impulse reaction. It was just...
Because my knees don't jerk at all. They don't.
I don't know why I play with you sometimes.
So you decided to go to school. That ain't what you wanted to do.
Right.
And you said...
Because I really didn't know what I wanted to do.
All right, so that didn't work out. So
then I was like, it wasn't working. It wasn't working. So I had to leave.
Al, you stupid. So let's just say he didn't want you to go to school or anything. What were you going to do? Like, how long are you supposed to stay in the house without doing anything?
Well, I was working. I had a job.
Oh, that wasn't enough for him?
No, that wasn't enough for him. I needed to be doing something that was going to... My father wanted me to be an accountant. Why? He evidently saw something in me.
Ask her what she studied in school. What did you study in school?
Tea and croissants. I went to the cafe and had tea and croissants.
Really? You didn't go to class?
I went to a couple. I had an African American class. I went to that.
Was they paying for it? Your mom and dad?
Mm-hmm.
Me and she owe you some money.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That when you went to Hunter?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I remember them days, them years, years. 68th Street?
68th
I remember
Street.
getting off the train waiting for you. Not the whole time, sometimes. Her major was linguistics.
Petey, what, did you do your dialysis today? Something's wrong. What is linguistics?
Pete, let me send you the link so you can come on the show.
So he could tell lies? My major was linguistics.
Either you lying or he lying.
Meaning I was talking opposed to going to class. Okay, I could get that. I was talking to Yvette. Uh-huh.
This thing is giving me two at the same time. I'm getting God's Day and Better for Today at the same time. What is linguistics? Were you good at it? First, let me know what the heck it is. Linguistics. Steph, how you on here sending me these crazy daggone texts? He said, I was talking to you. I remember asking you, what is linguistics? Because that was a major that you had at one time.
Never. I had
Rich Press said he meant linguini. Yo, Press, you stupid, son. He meant linguini. That's why you cook so good.
I remember asking you.
This dude is stupid.
What is linguistics? Because that was a major that you had at one time. No, I never studied linguistics. And I think that, I'm going to Google it, but I think it has the study of language.
Stephanie said linguistics is the scientific study of human language.
Right.
Encompassing its structure, function, acquisition, and evolution, as well as the social and cultural context. Thanks, Professor.
I mean, and it is a real study, but that wasn't me.
That wasn't you?
No, my father wanted me to be an accountant.
Did he even explain to you why he wanted you to be an accountant? Because he was a number
I think it had to do with him being...
He wanted you to be the accountant for his number business.
I think he saw how
Is that why you hate math so much?
I hated math.
Is that why?
Maybe that's why I hate math so much. But my memory of numbers, he can write numbers down. We could talk about numbers, and I could rattle those numbers right back off to you.
So he said accounting.
That's evidently he was like, yeah, maybe, I don't know.
He was like, nah, Dad, I just like you. I love you, so I see you.
Yeah, I see you with the numbers, so I'm figuring that's my end. You know, I couldn't go fishing with you, so I got to...
Where did you want to go to school at? You wanted to go out of the state?
I honestly enjoyed dancing, and I enjoyed modeling.
That's
what I wanted to do.
Where did Perry get that from? Mima don't even know her son's name.
Who's Perry? Her phone is auto-correcting her.
Is that what's on his birth certificate, Mima? Perry? So where did you want to go to school?
I didn't know of a school.
But you wanted to dance.
But I wanted to dance and I wanted to model.
I never saw you dance.
No, you've never been to any of my performances.
Table out. Let me see a little something.
Not.
I don't know what she's holding herself for. We're married. Let it all out. Back to the subject we was talking about. I don't know how we got here, but we're here. And the subject was parenting, how you've been parented.
Right.
The pitfalls of it, realistically. And then again, there's some kids who's had a good childhood.
Definitely.
Had a very good childhood. And so kudos to you.
I'm going to say, Al, for the most part.
Look at your mother. She's cursing. She said autocorrect is son of a citizen. Petey said, and I can promise you, if she would have went to school for dance, it would have been something amazing because she was awesome.
Thank you, Petey.
I've never seen her dance, Petey. Check out tonight. For singles, right?
Ballet, jazz, and tap.
Oh,
that type of performing dancing. Yes.
Your mom said she was extremely good at dancing.
Mm-hmm.
What's that other school I used to pick you up from? On 40-something Street? Used to dance? What's that school at?
I don't know where you're talking about. That was on Court Street in Brooklyn.
That wasn't no school you used to dance for in the city?
No. Mm-mm. I wanted to be into fashion. I wanted to go into the modeling and the dancing and the fashion kind of all intertwined.
Did he know that? Did your dad know that? That's what you wanted to do?
No,
Why
not really. I think that both of my parents took those things as hobbies. That's just something I did. And
I don't think your mom did. I think your mom promoted that.
No, she put me into dancing school. Yes.
She thought it was a hobby.
Again, I think they thought it as a hobby, but it was me.
I'm defending you, Meme. I got you.
I wasn't vocal. I was very complacent, meaning compliant, not complacent, meaning whatever they said, whatever they told me, I was just going to do it.
Maybe if you would have said something.
And maybe if I had spoken up and gave them my heart's desire.
So now back to the discipline thing. Did you feel that you was in a position to speak?
No.
This is.
I was never in a position to speak my mind because I was a child.
Because you was a child.
And I had to do whatever my parents told me to do.
That was the position back then when we were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You do what you told.
That's it.
And that's it. And how many people have been pushed the wrong way?
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. I mean, I was growing up. I was a genius.
Yes.
You know, got skipped, but my mom just didn't know how to employ academics. You know what I'm saying? She just didn't. I don't think she knew the value.
No, and that was her transition
of academics. And so, because my sister was smart.
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda was smart. But I think she moved towards my sister because my sister was Jehovah's Witness.
Right.
And I don't know the story about Ronald. Still think it's a tragedy the way he died. But
yeah.
Once again, because of who I look like, caused me so much problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
so do you think that's how you felt about Kyle?
What's that?
And rearing him. And
when Kyle was, I think Kyle was 13.
Okay. 12
or 13. I wanted him to learn a skill, a trade.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was doing drywalling, so I brought him into drywall. I never pushed it on him.
No.
Never pushed it on him. Anything Kyle wanted to do, I was behind. Anything Tyler wanted to do, I was behind. I never once said to them, you're going to do this. You're going to do that. Never once said. So once I, gave my life to God and found the liberty in that, I wanted him to experience that. So he may have got nudged a little bit that way.
Mm-hmm.
So when he decided to go into the military, I was 100% behind it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me know where you need me at. So I never, ever imposed anything on them kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I remember as a child what it was like to have somebody tell you what you need to do and they still not happy.
Wow. Okay.
And you spend a lot of time
of
your life trying to please this person.
Them. Yeah.
And you don't understand until you get saved and you go to counseling and you realize if they don't know what that is, how can you expect it out of them?
How can you please somebody who's not happy with themselves?
But I got to know what that is.
Yeah.
What's happy?
What's happy?
And what's joy? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And realizing that my mom didn't have that capabilities, I'm telling you, I felt like this. Wow. I felt real small because I judged her based off what I assumed, opposed to what she presented.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we had some really, really nice talks, before she passed. Mm-hmm. And I remember at my was it my Aunt Sandy's funeral? I can't remember what funeral it was. She told me she was putting her in a car. And she said, Alfred, I'm very proud of you. And it almost made me cry. I was like, wow, it took all this time.
Yeah, she said, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, because, yeah. But the crazy thing is, it didn't have no effect at that time.
No,
I wasn't looking for it.
No.
So it didn't even make me feel good.
I was going to say, it actually blurred it, meaning blurred over it. Like she said, yeah, okay.
I didn't give that impression to her.
No, you didn't.
I gave that impression
right.
that was, Mom, so I'm glad.
Right.
But on the inside, it didn't have, because I had become so cold to that it really didn't have any relevance because I had found another place that gave me that.
Yeah.
It was in God. I found a place there that I was looking for from my mom.
Yeah.
And I chased that thing for years until I realized what it was.
Right.
And then, a lot of us don't realize our parents never had outs to talk to anybody.
No, because
that stuff came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it made me into something that I won't describe, but I don't think no more. But before I used to think, what happens if it would have went the other way? You know what I'm saying?
Meaning that she applauded your accolades.
They were when I left junior high school, there were high schools that were looking for me. They wanted me to go to their school. We want him to go here. And I wanted to go to the Bronx High School of Science, but it was too far. I mean, it was like 2 trains, and I'm not doing all this. And so I went to Alexander Hamilton, which is a high architectural school. You
ran into your family. It became the prankster.
But God has a method. God has a way of
full circle.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you look back, Hans, over to some of the people that's in wheelchairs, some of the people that's dead, some of the people that's life in prison.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, we're here.
That's what the beatings did.
What?
The beatings got me here.
The beatings.
You hear people say that? Look how we turned out. It wasn't from the Hot Wheel track.
It wasn't from the Hot Wheel track.
So if you have young kids, be very careful that you're not parenting the way you were parented. As I constantly state, get you a journal. Write down when you're warm.
And for people who don't have those stories,
you're on your phone all day.
Yeah, no, I'm saying people.
What story?
Because you says don't repeat what your parents did. There are some instances where parents gave you some really core values. So repeat those.
Yeah, things. Well, let me change that. If it was negative,
right? If you had a negative experience,
it was negative.
Yeah, you don't want to repeat that. But if you have parents that, my father was just mean sometimes to me.
You just don't understand what he was going through.
But I don't know. I did not realize until being an adult.
How did his mom treat him?
Like the son. What I saw as a kid,
but younger, when he was younger, what story was what? Now?
He felt like his mom abandoned him because she left to come to New York and left him with his father in Puerto Rico.
It could have started right there.
And the father was mean to him.
It could have started right there.
So, yeah. So
his problem with women, and I'm not saying that was his problem, but just relating to women came from a place of anger because, like I said, with me, I couldn't get back at my mom.
Right.
So anything that came out of the mouth of a chick was like, who are you talking to? And that's what a lot of us don't understand. A lot of stuff that we're saying now is because of what's happened to us back then.
Back then, yeah.
And we don't put the two together.
No. We
don't take time. We don't an hour out the week or 2 hours out the week to go sit down and talk to somebody that can get that stuff out. And what we got to start understanding is new stuff can't get in.
Right.
That old stuff is just sitting there. You got to learn how to purge that stuff.
Yeah. Because
it's going to affect every relationship you got, and you're not going to understand why it's happening. And the how can I say it? The people who get affected the most is our kids.
Yeah.
Because they can't say nothing.
No.
They little prisoners.
Yeah. But I can remember, like I said, as adults, Kyle was in London, Tyler was in North Carolina, and I text them both and said, would you tell me the truth?
They told me they didn't want to tell you.
That I was a bad parent.
They told me they didn't want to tell you.
And if I did something that hurt you, that you're holding on to, carrying it, I want to apologize.
What up, TPZ?
That I didn't want them to, the reason I stayed in the situation, it was bigger than me.
Why did you stay in the situation? You don't think you're crazy?
I think so now. No. So I don't think I'm crazy.
I'm going to tell you.
But
it's something a little loose up there. I'd have left me.
Well, I mean.
But I didn't know who God was.
Right.
And what he had said to you.
Right. I mean, I prayed about it. And it was like I just had to do the best I could, keep talking to them and talking about coping skills and stuff like that, and pray and just hope that some of what I said, stuck
to them,
to the kids, to Tyler and Kyle. Yeah, that I wasn't trying to keep them in a bad situation.
If you didn't see it tonight,
yeah.
If you ain't see it tonight, son,
yeah,
you ain't never gonna see it.
No,
that was like a minister talking up there, bro.
Yeah,
she trained to go. Tyler trained to go, boy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
she
saying.
Is.
And we all would have left you, Petey, man. Let me tell you, man. I tell your sister all the time, man. I sit back and I'm so full of remorse out of some of the things, man, that we did as kids. It's crazy, man. It's irreversible. But man, to think that you were the cause of some of those things. Now that I've learned compassion, a lot of people don't even understand it. You can learn them things. Oh man, you can, yeah. You can learn stuff like love, and you can learn how to do all that, man. When that stuff, Sheila Chalk says, this is my first time watching my brother and my sister. I'm enjoying this, and this is something that will help us all with raising our future generations. We love you. Continue the beautiful journey that God has given you. What's going on, Sheila?
Hey, Sheila. Hey, Ronnie.
You just saying hi to Ronnie?
I know. I just thought about it.
You see that, Ronnie?
Ronnie need to do a visit to Virginia. Al's been missing your
potato salad.
No, it wasn't potato salad.
Yes, it was.
It's the macaroni with the tuna fish in it.
I know it's some kind of salad.
Mm-hmm. That's what
That's all I know. It got mayonnaise in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I was saying, journaling, I honest, if you're not going to be honest, don't journal. Plain and simple. If you're going to sit there, call it a fictional novel. If you ain't going to tell the truth.
If you're not going to, how you lie to yourself?
Because you don't know how to tell the truth. It's easy. The same way you talk to people and create stories, you'll create stories in that journal. Until you pray and say, Holy Spirit, I need your help.
Yeah.
And trust me, you'll write stuff in there that you can't even understand. And he'll take you back to it and you'll go, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to work. And the most amazing thing about a journal is nobody has to know what you're working on.
Right. I mean,
Facebook, you know what I did today? You know, that journal's between you and God. And then you get a journal if you want between you and your wife. You got to create manuscripts of your life.
Yeah.
So you can go back and go, okay, man, you know, in 2020, this is where I was at. Look where I'm at now.
You can see your growth.
If you don't, then you have something concrete that helps you work on it.
Yeah.
Like everybody has a...
But not only you have a story that's can heal others.
You should. Everybody ain't got that story.
I think everybody has a story.
Let me take you down to Park Avenue in Brooklyn. Everybody ain't got that story.
What do you mean?
People still getting high.
I mean,
you talking about people who have overcome.
Overcome.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. You walk around with a pad in your pocket. You understand what I'm saying? When your kids get you upset, write down what you're upset about.
What about it upset you? Yeah.
At that moment, you might realize it had nothing to do with what the kid did.
Really? Yeah.
It could have been something that happened in your day.
It was interfering with your agenda.
Absolutely.
And children, just how they came into this world.
But it's your dominating spirit that makes you think you can do that to that kid.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm the
adult.
That doesn't give you the right to do that to that kid.
No.
So journal. Let's journal. Journal until your hand get tired. And when your hand get tired, you got your phone in the other hand anyway. Record yourself.
Yeah.
Let's use that instrument like a young man said tonight. It's a tool. Let's utilize it so that it can be a positive.
Yeah. Don't allow it to be a stronghold, but allow it to use it. I mean,
man, I sat today and listened to the book of Esther, man. It's an amazing story. It's an amazing story, man. I don't know what made me turn it there, man, but I was sad today. You know, something about this month.
April is a heavy month.
I don't care how hard I try not to be sad. I'm sad.
It's the fact is, every day of this month,
it's just crazy.
Since that day, I could replay every day of that month.
It's just crazy.
And
man.
like you say, I tell myself consciously, okay, God, I need you to help me with this because I don't want to be here. I don't not physically, not unalive.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to be in a sad state.
It don't, man, calm. I'm telling you.
And it doesn't. And it's like, maybe I'm supposed to feel this. You understand? Because I'm not saying he wouldn't take something away that wasn't serving me. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm saying I know that the God that I serve isn't going to allow me to be in a place that would stagnate me.
Mm-hmm.
And he saved me from so many different things that why when I get to April, I'm struggling.
I remember, like, I can't remember how many years into it we were. And this is so powerful, man. I wrote this in my journal. Holy Spirit said to me, you know, Kyle was lent to us. He was given to us by God. And we took possession of him as we do almost everything. Mm-hmm. And he said what was going to happen to Kyle was going to happen whether he was yours or not. But the fact that I personalized it and took possession of him is the reason why I grieve so much. How do I not do that, Holy Spirit? He gave me the story of, I forgot the name of the person, and she gave her baby back. She said, if you give me a baby, God, I'm gonna give you him back. We got to do that with our kids, man. We got to give our kids back to the Lord, and I think maybe we'll see them different. I think the discipline levels won't be as high because we'll look at him as God's possession and not ours. So when we personalize stuff, it could be a job. It could be a car. When we lose that thing, it hits hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're not taught how to do what I just talked about.
No.
That thing's not taught to us. And so we grieve hard. And there's this book I read called The Body Keeps Score. Man, I don't care what I do. Come around April, I just be sad. And sometimes I sit and can't figure out why, because I'm not thinking on those. I'm like,
right, because I push it away.
And then I'll go online and Tyler have a video up. She put a video up today that just crushed me. I'm like,
yeah, it was like, all right, Tyler.
I was great till I saw this. Nothing against her.
Oh no,
because God knows how she feels.
Right,
your mom.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So, I don't know how we got here. But we here.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, we lost our son April 23rd,
right,
of 2012.
That's right.
And it just never goes away.
Yeah.
It just never goes away, man. You know, prayerful. I'm thankful that God has helped me better manage it. You know, but as we get closer and closer to the day, it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Feeling.
So, love your kids, man. Give your kids back to God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let him give them back to you. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you, if you're looking at this thing the way we should, you'll look at those kids different. Because you look at them because they're not yours.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. This was definitely better for today.
Okay.
We're going to do better.
That's what Carmen says.
Yeah.
We're going to do better for today.
Yeah.
What we eating for dinner? You ain't made nothing?
Then
we ain't going to do better tonight.
We got leftovers. I got salad in there. I'm getting ready to make me a salad.
Sheila says, I grew up in Richmond, VA. My mom raised us as a single parent when my parents divorced. My dad was killed in Harlem, New York when I was 12 years old. He's from Newport News, Virginia. Okay. Petey says, so true. Yeah. Yeah, when you give something back to God, like this house, you never hear me say this is my house.
No.
Ever.
No.
It's not mine. This house belongs to you and God.
Well, I would say we've dedicated to God.
This house, that truck is not mine. You're not mine.
It's an instrument.
I'm not mine.
Yeah, it's an instrument.
I guarantee you, when you place that thing back to God, you'll look at it different. You'll look at it a whole lot different. Mm-hmm. All right. Will you give it me back already? I see the look. Nigga, you can take your behind back now.
I wouldn't do that to you.
All right. I don't know what we're going to talk about next. We didn't have no notes. No nothing. We were actually enjoying our daughter who did her first Bible study today.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah.
I didn't want to come on. I was filled up. You know, but, you know, my Fuhrer, she acted like she didn't know what that meant earlier.
Is that what you were saying?
You knew what I was saying.
No. I was like, is he trying to speak Spanish? I didn't know what it was.
See, with that little mustache.
Oh.
You know, if you don't shave, your mustache grow like Hitler.
My mustache grows like
my
Hitler.
Fuhrer.
I don't know who that is.
That's Hitler.
Oh, God.
Anyway, we're both tired.
And hungry.
So we'll see y'all next week. Who knows what we'll be talking about. Y'all have a good rest of the evening. Peace.